Nature is so very simply beautiful. Just the rustling of the wind through the trees, the frogs and the crickets and the cicadas. It's like this beautiful orchestra. It's always something that I can kind of count on to reignite my creative juices. Everyone was on lockdown. I had the idea, along with a lot of the country, I think, about really simplifying and maybe trying to try out van life. Hit the road with my camera and travel around and tell stories, and I could live out of a van. I'm Angelique Herring. I'm a visual storyteller. I've always loved telling stories. Always. I realized that I could be a triple threat if I could write and also take photos and also do video. And then very shortly after, there was a hurricane. My friends and I climbed into her car and we ended up on this wild road trip, and I documented the entire thing and shared it on social media. I was hooked going forward. I work at the NASA Langley Research Center as a communication strategist, and now I'm working with just telling different stories of the scientists and finding ways to share all of the cool research that we're doing in a way that's engaging for our audiences. I also have my own studio helping brands tell their story with photography, videography, and other digital marketing things. So sometimes that looks like going into the office, or sometimes I'll even be on the tail end of a camping trip and just be working from my van from wherever I happen to be. It's usually just me. Most people don't like getting eaten alive by bugs for fun. My sisters will often come with me, especially if there's a road trip involved, particularly. I went camping last year for like a week with my mom. She hated the bugs so very much. I didn't really want to mess with going through all of the battery stuff that comes with van life, the electrical things. And I came across someone using like the Jackery product, and I thought, that's it, that's the way to go. So I use my Jackeries for a lot. I'm charging a lot of things a lot of the time. I also use my Jackery just to make living and kind of like working from my van more livable. So I use it to run my Max Air fan, stove, refrigerator. I'm gonna be cooking up some oatmeal. It's pretty simple. Look how creamy the oatmeal is. That's breakfast. Norfolk, Virginia is one of the places in the country that's going to be most affected and has already been affected by sea level rise. Small geology lesson. Virginia are actually made by some glacial kind of movement. And so the glacial movement made all of Norfolk, Virginia kind of rise, and now it's kind of coming back down again, which, as you might be able to imagine, is not great considering that the sea level is also rising. So flooding can get absolutely horrible, and it's not unheard of for big storms to come through and knock out the power, to make it hard to get outside, go to the grocery store, and do whatever you need to do. One of the more pivotal experiences I had was not in Virginia, it was actually in Kentucky. So Kentucky, they have a whole tornado season, and it happens to align pretty well with our annual fishing trip. We didn't really know what we were looking at first. Everything was dark, and then our phones started ringing. There were all kinds of alarms, and we realized, oh gosh, this is a tornado. Thankfully, on that trip, I had both of my Jackeries. The basement floor of our Airbnb flooded. We were able to use the sump pump to kind of get up a lot of that water with the Jackery, able to light up kind of the rest of our trip for the time that the power was out, which was probably at least a day, and able to really just kind of keep enjoying ourselves despite the storm that was going around because of the Jackery, and feel a lot safer. I really knew that I loved surfing. I loved being on the water. And so I was just looking for a way to get out on the water that didn't always involve having to go to the ocean, and paddleboarding seemed like the perfect opportunity. I have been known to bring my camera out on my paddleboard and usually my drone so that I can try and get pictures. While I'm not usually interviewing, I am usually telling stories on my paddleboard as well. And it almost kind of feels like camping in some ways, where you're not really doing much of anything in nature except just the being there. And I really love that experience. And I also loved that Isle had these inflatable paddleboards. I knew that with my Jackery it would be really easy to inflate and have something that I could recreate with on the go like this. My personal beliefs regarding the environment is that the world would be a better place if we all saw ourselves as stewards of the world that we inhabit. Too often, humans see ourselves as this individual force here on the planet, but realistically, there are birds, there are dolphins, there's the grass, there are the trees, and we're all kind of working in harmony with each other. And uniquely as humans, there are things that we can do to protect and take care of all of those different things living here on planet Earth with us. And Jackery fits in really, really well to my aspirations to be the best steward of the planet that I can be. Having something that I can charge over solar or that I can charge while I'm driving makes the best use of the resources that I'm using so that I never feel like I'm wasting anything, and I'm getting the best bang for my buck every single time, so that I know that the impact that I'm making on the environment is a good one.